Boys and girls, here he is. He's the heartthrob of assisted living happy hours all over Rocky Top. It's the world, according to Rocket.
Holy crackers. Yeah, it's here we are with another week. I know you were disappointed and frustrated, just like I was with that stupid Arkansas game. I have some comments on that at the end of this broadcast. I'll lay out what I think is happening, but first, we got the Gators. It's Gator Hate Week, or Hate Gator Week. Let's look at the numbers. When we look at the numbers, Tennessee 21.5 power rating to Florida 7.2. This is the real odds for this game if it were played on a neutral field, no injuries, all things being equal. Tennessee should be a 14.3 favorite in this football game. It opens up at a minus 11, and people are going, huh? Really? So because of that, let me just pop over here as well to this guy right here. So here it is at minus 11. It's where it opened up. And then it even dropped down to 10.5, as you can see here. And then all of a sudden it shot up to 20, minus 20. And now it's worked its way back to where it's about 15. And it'll eventually probably get 14.5, I would imagine. But why did this happen right here? Boom, 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 right? See that huge jump from 10.5 to 20. Well, because what happened was the sharps, the professional bettors, the professional gamblers, you know, the Tonys, these guys, they realized that Tennessee minus 11 was a huge opportunity to win some money, and so they just laid a shit ton of money on that number. It drove it up to 20.5, and now it's moderated through the rest of the week down to about 15.5. So this is the points per game that both of these teams produce, okay? Particularly in the last three games. Tennessee's 40.3, Florida 26.5. Now, what we're doing when we handicap a football game is we try to decide whether or not they are going to, let me get over here and get my drawer. They're going to decide, we're going to decide whether or not they're going to perform to this level. Which one do we need to give more points to? Which one do we need to take away from? Right? So that's what we're trying to prove or disprove, are these numbers on either side. All right? The way we do that, Tennessee offensive efficiency to the defensive efficiency of Florida. You can see that that's a 30 percentage point difference. That's huge. And then the offensive efficiency of Florida versus the Tennessee defensive efficiency, again, huge. That's almost 30 points again. So that's what we're looking at, and we end up with this figure here for the metrics, right? 41.26. Yes, I know that's not necessarily a football score, but just work with me here. So here's how I handicap these things. I put a 5% road tax on anybody that's on the road, and then I adjust the score. So that's 25-4 that Florida is going to be adjusted to. The strength of a record brings them down to 23-9. The offensive, as I showed you here, this guy right, boom, that guy right there. The offensive efficiency, they're going to lose another 1.5 down to 22-4, and vice versa. The defensive efficiency is even worse. We're going to take the down farther even still. Tennessee gets the benefit of what we do is for every 10 points, for every 10 points is a point deduction or addition, right, in these metrics. So what I do is I just split the difference and I put a 1.5 deduction on one and a 1.5 addition on the other, making up the 3 points. So that's how these numbers get adjusted. The number gets adjusted to over here with a final home advantage. But Tennessee's red zone percentage is 85%. And I don't like that. So I'm going to penalize them. I'm going to penalize them a touchdown for having such a low percentage in the red zone efficiency department. So I'm looking at a final score of 41-21 of Tennessee, for Tennessee, right? And I mean, even though it's playing at Neyland and we have that 3-point home field advantage, and it's also a revenge game. You know, we remember what happened last year when we went to Gainesville. So what does all of that mean? Well, okay, this is the metric that I come up with, 41-21, and I go all the way back over here and say, okay, how does that look against what they're performing, the level that they're performing at now? 40-26. Yeah, okay, well, that seems reasonable to me, right? And therefore making this reasonable, the 15.5, where they're currently at. Now, my guess is that that's going to drop a little closer to game time to about 14.5, which is that right there, which is what it's supposed to be. All right. So Tennessee by 2 touchdowns for sure. And it should be, easily 21 points. They have a cushion there that they should cover this nicely. Okay, I want to talk about something here just as a commentary. I am very disappointed in this football team after the past 2 games. Yeah, I know we lost. We won at Oklahoma. But it felt like a loss, didn't it? A little bit. I know we lost at Arkansas, but it felt like a loss, didn't it? Somebody asked me, I'm going to ask you a question. Let me know what you think about this. Somebody asked me a question after the game, one of the followers of my channel, and they said, well, actually, he didn't ask a question. They just stated it outright. They said, Rocket Man, Josh Heupel has become Joe Milton. Wow. I went, what? She said, think about it. And I got to thinking about it. What was Joe Milton? Joe Milton talked a great game. Joe Milton was all kind of talented. Joe Milton did all kind of great things. But in the final analysis, Joe Milton would overthrow the wide open receiver 40 yards down the field by 10 or 15 yards when it mattered the most. Is Josh Heupel doing the same thing by being overprotective, by being so conservative that it kind of feels like he has his head up Philip Fulmer's butt? How are they developing Nico? Look, let me just say this. Nico Iamaleava is not Tom Brady. He should not be developed as a stand-up, stand in the pocket, check 5 checkdowns, and then when he's trapped, does he run? That's not the kind of player he is. He's more along the lines of Jalen Hurts. He's more along the lines of Hendon Hooker, and I'm talking about talent-wise. Remember how Hendon Hooker, that first look wasn't there, and second, hell with it, I'm going. And he went. I feel like they are so protecting Nico. Oh, no, you just make sure you get all your 19 reads in. And then if you're in trouble, well, it's too late to do anything. It's too late to use those skills that he has. You know, that skill like, you know, running like a gazelle. And that skill is triggered by an innate sense of, I'm going to, oh, no, go. We saw him do that a little bit in the Virginia game. We saw him do a chunk of that in the Iowa game. And I can't recall this year under any circumstance where they actually called a quarterback run. Dude, he is a stone cold weapon. Use him. I'm just very disappointed in Coach Heupel with the way they are running this offense. And I guarantee you, now I know I've never coached at a level like this, but I do know one thing. That team was out there on the field that was playing against Arkansas are going to get the shit beat out of them by Alabama at home. I mean, they're going to get hammered. There needs to be some changes made in their outlook of football, in my opinion. Now, do I say this with malice? Do I say this to be mean? No, I love the guy. I love Heupel. If you'll recall, the day he was hired is when I restarted my Tennessee football channel. Okay? I'm his biggest fan. But I think he's making huge mistakes with the development of Nico. He's being too protective. Dude is 6'6" and 220 almost now. He's damn near a grown-ass man. Let the man do what he can do. And a lot of that has to do with running the football. Let me know what you think. Am I full of poo-poo caca? Am I spot on? Somewhere in between? Anyway, I think we rebound this weekend against Florida. I think we're going to do well against Florida. Mostly because Florida is not that good, right? But I'm interested in seeing what you have to say. Let me know in the comments. Be sure you like the channel, subscribe, and go Big Orange.